Hi and welcome back. It's Nancy Beauvair here with Agape and Next Steps. Now I know that if you've been following my videos or reading my blog posts over the last little while, you've seen that I've really put a focus on how to age well, how to age healthy and live the best lives we can, especially now that we're living longer. So today I wanted to talk about that. We have a global demographic that is aging. People are living much longer lives, they're living healthier much longer, and as a result we're having more and more people living into their 90s and their hundreds, and that does have an effect. So what I wanted to address specifically in this video and in this blog article is how to do that and put the emphasis on living the best life that you can. So there's been lots of articles and research out there, and there actually have been 8 key points that have been identified to help ensure that people age well and live the best life that they can. So what I want to do next is I will identify each of those 8 key components and talk a little bit about them and see how they can help you live a better life. It doesn't matter if you're 70 and watching this or if you're 35 and watching this. If you're watching this at 35, you've got a lot of years ahead of you to put some of these things in action to ensure that by the time you are 80, that you're a very healthy and vibrant 80. So with no further ado, let's talk about point number 1. So the first key point is about engagement and purpose. As we age, it's just a natural progression. Sometimes we end up more and more socially isolated. That can be because we have mobility issues, or we have to move to a different community, or the people around us pass away, so our community will shrink. But it's been shown that if you can stay active and engaged and involved in a community setting, whether that is volunteering to read to kids in a library or whatever interests you, as long as you stay active and engaged with a community, it's been shown that you have a better outlook on life, you're happier, and it will keep you in a better position and a happier aging process. Point 2 is about financial wellness. That's something that certainly isn't isolated to seniors. I know that people struggle at all ages and all stages of life to be financially secure. However, especially where we're living longer and longer, even more frequently than ever, people are outliving the money that they have set aside for their retirement. So another thing that is very critical about aging well is to manage your financial wellness. That means either ensuring that you have enough money set aside to manage your care as you age, or if that's not possible, to manage the best that you can on the funds that you do have available. Take advantage of things if you need to, such as affordable housing, look for other supports if you need, but really financial wellness, if you are secure and you have proper shelter and you have food, you have proper nutrition, then you are going to be aging well. Another challenge of aging is an issue that I alluded to just a couple of points ago, and that would be about mobility issues. So it's just natural as we age, our joints lose some of their synovial fluid in the joints, and we become stiffer. We just maybe don't move, we're not as flexible as we once were. So if you set the stage starting at a younger age to continue to be active and involved, and even if it's no more than just walking, keep active, try to keep fit, and that way you will lessen the impacts of some of those mobility issues. If you already do have mobility issues, if you have some chronic arthritis or other types of mobility issues, then in order to make sure that you can stay actively engaged, you need to take advantage of options that are available to help you with those mobility issues, whether that is using an access bus or using walkers, walking aids, whatever it is that you need. Ensure that you do take advantage of those. Don't let your ego and your pride get in the way, because it's far better to be active and involved than to worry that somebody might look at you because you're using a walker or a wheelchair. Not only that, but even if you already do have some mobility issues, there are different things. You can do chair yoga, chair exercises, things like that, that will at least keep things flowing. The fourth point is about daily living and lifestyle. Again, as we age, some of us may have difficulty with such things as bathing and dressing. Again, it's important to ensure that you're not letting your ego get in the way of making sure that you are living a good life and that your needs are being taken care of. So if you do have some family support or friend support that can help you with that, if you do end up having some difficulties in those areas, that's great. Otherwise, investigate the options that are available. In many jurisdictions, there are home care options. You can be allocated a certain number of hours per week to have some home care, have somebody come in and maybe you need assistance in the shower 1 day a week or a couple days a week. You can arrange for that. If you need help dressing, somebody can come in and do that. There's light housekeeping available. People can come and help you prepare your meals. There's also other options where meals can be delivered to you. So you have to make sure that you are also taking into consideration any of your needs as you age, having to do with managing your daily life. The fifth point is about caregiving needs. So we just talked about some personal lifestyle changes that might occur, but maybe they're not that advanced yet. Maybe you just need some assistance with doing your bill payment or getting your groceries, taking you to appointments. So if that's the case, take a look at your circle, take a look at your family and friends, your network, and see where you can get the assistance there. Again, if that's not an option and if you can afford it, there are actually professional caregivers out there that will come and they will help you. They'll make sure that you get to and from your appointments. They will come and visit with you. If you're just lonely and you don't get out enough, they'll come and they'll visit with you. They'll take you places. So make sure that you have that caregiving component in your life. Make sure that you're not missing out on engaging in life and having that circle completed by not having some caregiving opportunities. There's no shame in having somebody come and help you get to the bank, or somebody picking up your groceries and bringing them to you and putting them in your cupboards and in your fridge. Or as I said in the last point as well, maybe they can come and help you with your housework. On the sixth point, I'd like to talk about the coordination of care needs. There are many, many organizations, many different levels of care, many types of medical specialists that you may need to see. Coordinating those appointments and making sure that you can get to and from all of these appointments can become a logistical nightmare for anybody, but especially if you're a senior and especially if you're dependent on having somebody help get to those appointments. But maybe that same person can also take some of the burden off of you and help coordinate some of those appointments to ensure that they go smoothly, that they're not causing too much disruption in your life as well. If you can book some appointments in back to back to back, and you are out one day, as long as it's not too tiring and depending on the tests that are involved, it might be a lot easier on you than spreading it out over a course of several weeks. Now, we may not have that luxury or that option given the wait times for many of our doctors and specialists here, and especially here in Canada. But having somebody to help coordinate those various types of disciplines and appointments can take a great burden off of our aging family members and loved ones and just make life a little bit easier and more manageable for them. So I'm kind of building up to the biggies here. Number 7 is about brain health. Now, it's no surprise to any of us that some cognitive decline is inevitable as we age. Even if you are the healthiest, there are going to be some memory lapses. There are going to be some things that don't function quite as well when you're in your 80s and 90s as they did when you were in your 20s and 30s. But don't ignore those things. And you can manage your cognitive health to the best of your ability by, again, focusing on it and starting young. Learn a new language, read, do puzzles, watch your nutrition, make sure that you're eating well, make sure that you're staying hydrated, be involved, be active, do things that stimulate your brain. It really is true that if you don't use it, you will lose it. So do the best that you can to try to preserve your cognitive health, your brain health. I mentioned in some of my other videos the amount of dementia that is starting to present itself in our societies is overwhelming our ability to care for the people who are having these issues. So if you can take some steps now and in your 20s and 30s and 40s and even as you're older to continue to engage and stay stimulated and eat right, all those things I just mentioned, you're going to have better cognitive health in most cases, unless you end up with a chronic disease or end up with Alzheimer's or other neurodegenerative types of diseases that affect cognition. Nobody wants to lose the ability to function on their own. Nobody wants to lose their memories. So be proactive, take some steps now and carry them forward so that you can diminish those aspects as you age. Number 8 of the challenges of aging is about end-of-life care. It's a subject that people aren't quite as nervous talking about now. It's becoming more and more acceptable to talk about it as we are aging longer. But it is something still that people shy away from talking about. And it's a very critical part of the aging process in order to make sure that we have proper end-of-life care so that when people are in need of palliative care, that there are hospices and places that they can get that so that they can have a good death. There's nothing wrong with having a good death. We're all going to die at some point. We can make that transition so much nicer if we have access to palliative care, access to hospices. If we stop hiding behind and pretend the fact that death doesn't happen or that death is a horrible thing. It is a part of life, and yes, we will mourn and we will miss the person who dies, but we all will die at some point. So if we can make sure that we have the supports in place and the people in place that can help make it a calm and peaceful passing over, that will benefit everybody. So there you have it. Those are the 8 challenges of aging. There are many things that we can do as we progress through our adulthood that will take good positive steps to ensuring that as we age, we reduce some of the effects of at least some of these challenges so that we can age well and have the best life that we can at any age. Again, I think that we need more supports. I don't know where that's going to come from, but if we can come together as a society and we can find positive solutions to help our population age well, then they'll have the best life that they can. Thanks very much. Bye for now.